Welcome to the REAL-Lationship Toolbox podcast with hosts and marriage service technicians Cliff and Andrea Riley. The Rileys are TV hosts, life coaches, trauma healing facilitators, relationship instructors, biblical counselors, authors, bloggers, and licensed ministers. They have a passion for marriages and families that was birthed from the struggles they faced during their early years together. Their mission is to equip relationships with tools to go the distance. One of the couple's greatest desires is to use the wisdom gained throughout the years to help guide, instruct, and heal relationships. This dynamic duo is open, honest, and transparent as they share their insights. Cliff and Andrea have been married for 29 years and are blessed with 4 children, 9 grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchild. Today's podcast is sponsored by the Marriage Service Technicians, #MST 30-Day Challenge. Cliff and Andrea Riley invite you along on a month-long adventure. Join the journey towards transformation. In 4 weeks or less, discover the secret to a fine-tuned relationship that runs like a well-oiled machine. Our Jumpstart program will get your engines running and give you turn-by-turn directions to your destination. Take the #MST 30-Day Challenge. Come along for a ride that will change your life. Are you up to the challenge? Visit us at themarriagetext.com/challenge.
This is the REAL-Lationship Toolbox, podcast number 3, What Says Love in Every Language? I'm Andrea Riley.
And I'm Cliff Riley.
And we're the Marriage Service Technicians. Our mission is to equip relationships with tools to go the distance. Thanks for joining us. Now, honey, we know that anyone that knows us even a little bit, who's heard our testimony or watched our show or attended a workshop or anything, could tell you what we call our master key, or what I like to call our secret sauce.
Yeah, you're right. Anybody who's been around us and heard us say that praying together has been the secret to our successful marriage.
Now, you remember when we stumbled on it?
Yeah, that was over 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I remember listening to a message you shared with me on a cassette tape.
Cassette tape. Now, that's funny. Now, that was definitely a while ago.
Yeah, you got that right. But I remember it was like yesterday.
Yeah, me too.
It was Pastor Cynthia Brazenton.
Mm-hmm.
She talked about how Jesus asked his disciples could they watch with him for 1 hour. Man, I was so convicted.
Me too. I was like, Lord, I'm getting my butt up tomorrow at 6 a.m. to spend time in prayer.
And I remember after hearing that message, I called you and say, honey, I'm getting up with you.
Right, you did. So little did we know back then, but God was using her to get us to start praying together. We had no idea how impactful it would be.
Yeah. And once we saw the light, we began proclaiming the good news.
Right. And crying out in the wilderness.
Shouting from the mountaintops.
We wanted to share the benefits of praying together with everyone we knew.
And a bunch of people we didn't know, too.
So true, so true.
You know, I've been thinking about what you shared with me the other morning. You had an interesting perspective about couples praying and the 5 love languages.
Yeah, like as much as we talk about prayer, I just saw it in a different way than I'd ever seen it before.
How about we share a little bit on the 5 love languages for our listeners who may not be familiar with them?
Okay, well, The 5 Love Languages is a New York Times best-selling book by a man named Gary Chapman. Now, according to Chapman, our love language describes how we receive love from others.
And our love language is also the way we express love towards others. Let's do a brief summary for those listeners who aren't familiar.
Okay, good idea. So I'll go first. Now, according to a 2018 survey, the most common love language is words of affirmation. Mm-hmm. Now, 23% of us fall into that category.
Now, words of affirmation means saying supportive things.
Mm-hmm. So the next most common love language is quality time, coming in at 20%.
Quality time? That means spending meaningful time together.
Right, exactly. Now, acts of service, that also weighs in at 20%.
Now, acts of service means doing helpful things.
And for 19% of us, physical touch says, I love you.
This is one of my favorites one. Physical touch means you prefer physical expressions of love, such as a hug, holding hands. It includes both intimate and non-intimate touches.
And last but certainly not least, for 18% of us, receiving gifts is our love language.
Now, receiving gifts, this means you feel loved when you receive gifts. It lets you know others were thinking about you.
So the bottom line is that each of us receives and shows love in one of these 5 ways.
If any of our listeners wants to find out about the love language, there's a link to a free online quiz in our links and resources.
Yeah, and I would recommend it for any couple who hasn't taken the quiz before. It's a tool that can teach us how to show love in the ways that our partner can receive it, and it can help us to ask our partner to show us love in ways that we can receive it.
Now, that's a win-win.
Exactly.
Now, honey, I really like what you shared with me the other morning when you talked about how praying together ties in with the 5 love languages.
Yes, that's right. So that's what happens when you get a good night's sleep. So you just wake up with revelation.
Okay, well, then you should start going to bed early every night.
Touche. Okay. Anyway, all right. So like that morning, it just dawned on me how when we pray together, we're spending quality time with each other. And that's something I enjoy, just being with you.
And of course, quality time is one of the 5 love languages. And one thing I can say is that at least by us praying together, we get the opportunity to spend the quality time together.
Every day.
You get a chance to talk about things, that's concerning you,
Right.
or that's on your heart. And I get the opportunity to hear those things and pray about them. When I don't have the answer or the solution, us men, a lot of times we think we have the answers or know the solutions.
Right. Always trying to fix something.
Well, at least I get a chance to hear your heart and make a time deposit.
I like that time deposit. So the other thing is that I get to hear your heart too. I get to hear the good things, the not so good things, the things that are weighing you down, all of it. And one of my favorite things about praying together is when you pray for me. Like I'm hearing you talk to God and you're telling him how much you love and appreciate me and how I'm a blessing to you.
Yes, sweetheart, you are a blessing to me.
Thank you. And I hear you say things in prayer that you say to me at other times, but sometimes I get to hear things that you've never said to me before. And all of it just fills me with joy and love and it gives me a greater appreciation for you. I mean, it's to the point, that I've actually hit the record button on my phone while you were praying for me. I mean, I feel like, man, he should teach every husband in the world how to do this. And, that's where the words of affirmation come in, which is another one of the love languages.
And that brings me to, that's one of my favorite parts of praying together is when you caress me and when you lean on me.
Yeah.
I love that.
And that's physical touch, which is definitely one of your love languages. And the physical touch, that kind of segues into the next area. So you remember when you were having the pains in your wrists and in your hands and numbness in your fingers and you couldn't move your thumbs and the doctors were recommending surgery.
How could I forget that?
Well, and then remember when we were in prayer one day and the Lord directed me to start massaging you with oils. And then I just started doing it every day during our prayer time.
And I didn't wind up needing surgery after all.
Exactly.
Those massages were acts of service.
Yeah. So that's 4 out of the 5 love languages right there.
Now, how about that 5th one, gifts? Where does that fit in?
That's a good question. First, let me say the couples needed to start the habit of praying together daily, period. Now, we could do 10 or 20 podcasts on that topic alone. Now, the revelation about the 5 love languages is just gravy. But if you or your partner's love language is giving and receiving gifts, then I would suggest you pray about what to give. Add that to your prayer.
Yes, we can pray about everything, including how to show our love through gifts.
Right. Because God knows your spouse better than you do. So whatever he tells you to give is definitely going to be a hit.
Oh, here's the perfect gift. How about giving a commitment to praying together each day?
Wait, do I hear a shameless plug in the making?
Nah, just think about it. The 30-day prayer challenge makes the perfect gift. It's something that can jumpstart a lifelong habit that can change the course of your relationship for the better.
And be creative. Add some gifts that will enhance your prayer time together. like maybe a scented candle or soft, comfy throw for those chilly mornings, or a pillow for kneeling.
Please, take it from us. Start praying together daily.
Yes, my only regret is that we didn't find out about the power of praying together even sooner.
So check out our website or resources links to find out more.
So that's all we have for you today, and we'll leave you with this. What says love in every language or every love language?
Praying together daily.
And remember,
the couple that prays together slays together.
We'd like to thank all our listeners for tuning in. Today's podcast is sponsored by the Marriage Service Technicians #MST 30-Day Challenge. We invite you along for a month-long adventure. Join the journey towards transformation in 4 weeks or less. If you're up to the challenge, then come along for a ride. #MST 30-Day Challenge. Visit us at themarriagetext.com/challenge. We invite you to stay connected with us on social media. Follow us on Instagram at Marriage Service Techs. Like us on Facebook at Marriage Service Technicians. Subscribe to the Marriage Service Technicians YouTube channel. And of course, please subscribe to the REAL-Lationship Toolbox podcast. Until next time, it's the Marriage Service Technicians, Cliff and Andrea Riley, equipping relationships with tools to go the distance.